Welcome to our pinup this month. Pinup is kind of our way for us to invite you all into the inner working of our studio and right into our pinup space where we take inspiration from all around us and sort of slap it onto the wall and see what sticks.
So our source of inspiration this month is the movie Poor Things, which is a coming-of-age story about this kind of Frankenstein-esque girl named Bella Baxter, and it's framed within this very Victorian-esque, steampunky world, and it's this really crazy, beautiful world that we found a lot of inspiration within.
But it's really just us ripping off magazines and, printing things from the internet and collecting things from social media and
all different avenues.
It's kind of the way that we always start any of our projects, really, right?
And I feel like we find lots of inspiration from not just like art and fashion, which we definitely talk a lot about during pinup, but things like theater or dance or
and I
big
think
installations that we visited in the past.
Right. And I think that's why it's kind of interesting for our studios, because we both have a kind of performing arts, in our blood, that everything is a show. And I think that
even this pinup becomes a show. We're inviting you in to watch our dance for the pinup.
So let's start.
Let's get into it. Neo-Victorian is our first trend, and this is where we're seeing a blending of steampunk with contemporary design.
And it's really anywhere from taking these plastic silhouettes but done in a latex material, or seeing kind of puff sleeves back in fashion.
And costume design.
Right. And it's taking elements like a small tassel on a chair, making an entire piece of furniture. I think we live in a time where
everything is very transactional and super efficient, and so
anywhere from dating to design.
Exactly.
So I think everyone is yearning for that romanticism of that particular period.
Surrealism is this next thing that we're seeing that's trending, and if you think about it, what gives Poor Things its visual quality and its kind of magic is this almost nonsensical world and surrealist world that they've created through the way that they've done the production design and the way that they filmed that movie. It's just really surprising all around.
And I think that the way that they did that is really to put things where they don't belong. I can imagine that production design meeting to prep for this, and a bunch of designers just asking what if. I think that's the key. What if we put ceiling tin on the walls,
And what if we take a painting and we turn it into a dress?
Right, and what if, we give a frame of a chair to a handbag designer, like how Shama's studio did it with that particular chair there that even caught attention of Rihanna when she visited Design Miami. And I think that's the key.
The what ifs. I think the way to really put into practice this idea of what if and how we can make these surrealist pieces and elements, you can look at it through the lens of alter ego. It's kind of asking yourself, how can we take this and how can we create its alter ego to create these very surrealist counterparts to different
your familiar objects.
Exactly.
Right? It's really about transforming, your something familiar, an object, a concept, whatever that is, by altering its form, its scale,
its material.
Exactly.
Texture.
And even the purpose of what it's meant to be, right? And, the things that we see, like these sheer giant shirts that are being used as curtain, like rideau chemise here, or this artist, the South Korean artist, that create the entire house all in sheer with all of its interiors. Right, like the most structural thing out of the sheer material. So it's I think that
ego of it.
Yes, exactly. With all the craziness in the world, we really see escapism as the next big trend.
And specifically, this escapism within our own minds, really trying to reconnect with that inner child. I think we're all yearning for that childlike innocence and imagination again.
Whenever I think of that, I really think of the book Le Petit Prince, or The Little Prince, and the adventure sort of quality of that story, and the quality of the graphics itself, which I think will be what we're seeing going forward as people are finding refuge in safety and joy.
Exactly. So in Poor Things, water is really acting as a character for most of the movie. The scenes on the boat, and then also how it is in Lisbon. It has this dreamlike magical quality that surrounds Bella.
Water, in terms of graphic, we see in design, gives us a lot to play with. The organic fluidity of all of the lines. It also gives us play with translucency and transparency. Also how light interact with water, creating reflection and refraction. There's a lot to play with here with the water. We started the episode with Neo-Victorian and all of our yearning for the romanticism of that period.
But that period is also defined by mass production and the Industrial Revolution.
And you see that parallel with what we are calling the digital revolution now, where just there's such a massive amount of information that's coming at us, but also a big surge in the past few years about how technology aid our lives, make things easier, more efficient, faster. You see a lot of products that are focusing on 3D printing, on laser cutting, all of the latest technology.
But if we're thinking about kind of how with the Industrial Revolution, you saw this kind of anti-movement of arts and crafts that's rejecting the mass production.
And again, parallel to that, you start to see the desire for the artisanal quality of products that you're seeing marquetry in wood or embossing leather or a high focus on things like couture, really valuing the idea of reintroducing the human quality into design.
Our source of inspiration this month is the fantastical world of Poor Things that has both this nostalgic and futuristic feel to it.
In this episode, we explore a series of trends that stem from that particular source of inspiration: Neo-Victorian, Surrealism, Escapism, Water, and Craftsmanship. Stay tuned for the next episode as we explore some additional trends that we're seeing coming up based on the next source of inspiration.
Follow and subscribe to Studio THO on YouTube. You definitely don't want to miss this.